I have been talking and I was not unmuted yet. Let's try again. Hi everyone. Welcome to Emerald Lake. It's me, Raven. I've been having the problems today. Oh well. Okay, so let's say we're doing some more. This sounds like a very cage thing to do. Ooh, okay. Anyway, I was trying to say that we're doing more folk tales again tonight, just like last night. Um, Same groups. 86% love. Hey, at least that's an A. It's always fun spending. Oh, thank you, Jeremy. Hello, everyone. No, you love cafe more, Cage. It's always the bot that says it. Don't worry about it. Sometime it be accurate and sometime it not. But I will say Cage is here every time. Except for that one that we don't talk about, I guess. We don't count that one. Um, the mods, it feels like wrong when the mods have the bad numbers. It's like they're always here. They deserve a little bit nicer bot love, you know? The bots don't know what we feel. It's just a fun number. Like the roll is the best way to think about it. Come on. But okay. I was saying, yes, we're doing more folk tales about the the indigenous folks up in the Arctic. More than just the Inuit, but I'm gonna be saying Inuit whenever we have the E slur. It is the anthology that isn't very nice about that, but for the most part has some good stories, which we really properly got into last time, where they had like a run of the raven teaching people and stuff, which was great. And we're gonna keep going with that. And I'm gonna guess that we're gonna get near to the end of this book, if not actually finishing it. I'm excited. Just smuggle, it's all good. Yeah. No, I don't think I've seen that one before, Cage. Anyway, uh, but yeah, so we're gonna be reading these again, and yeah, I'll be swapping out the word um for the E word to Inuit, and then other times they'll say Inuit, and I'll just be reading it. But anyway, we're gonna make sure that we're as respectful as we can with this old story. And soon enough, we'll be able to move on to storybooks that are a little bit nicer, hopefully. When we get to the different folklores for different continents, I won't know things as well over there, and I'll have to be told when I should have been more sensitive, but I'm gonna do my best. But okay. Whoa. Oh. Looks like that roll didn't work. Do. Not hard to get a better roll than nothing. Roasted. What? What was the other roll? Did we have a roll? Scooby Bobby got a 20. That's impossible to get better. I bet you won't get a better roll. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think anybody will get better than the 20. So no, Cage. Yep, look at that. Instant humble. There you go. Okay. I'm gonna get into the stories. The first one up is one that I had wanted to be able to finish in time yesterday, but I didn't pull it off. Oh, there. Oh, it was an old roll. Oh, the one that they just had tried didn't work. No, but that's because they had done a roll a while ago. Yeah. Awkward bird in a cage. Oh, There's a new role for Scooby Bobby. A 2. I didn't know that our yeah, that's what you get for trying again. Should have quit while you were ahead. I didn't know that our cooldown for the roll was so short. It feels short considering our other cooldowns, but anyway, okay. Here we go. The first story. I had wanted to finish off yesterday with it, but I didn't pull it off. It's still in the Raven talking to the first peoples sort of a line, but so we're gonna keep going, and it's called Taking Away the Sun. So that's where we'll start. Or they just haven't yet, Cage, and now we've opened up their eyes and they're gonna go after it. Okay, Taking Away the Sun. People were becoming such good hunters that they killed a great many animals, more than Raven was willing to have killed, lest the animals became too few for the large number of people now on Earth. Well, this sounds like right now, not the beginning of time. Oh boy. For this reason, Raven took a grass basket and tied a long line to it, and going down to Earth, caught 10 reindeer, which he took up to the skyland. I'm going to swim with my tears. No! Don't cry. Oh no. We're reading stories. It's good time. Okay. Reindeer up to the sky. The next night, he let the reindeer down near one of the villages and told them to run fast and break down the first house they came to and destroy the people in it. Oof. Oh no. The reindeer did so and ate up the people with their sharp wolf-like teeth, because yes, our reindeer are still carnivores apparently. Then they returned to the sky. Okay, so the reindeer can fly. Now I know where the flying reindeer came from with Santa. It's from the Inuit. And it's 'cause they're also carnivores. Can you imagine the story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but now it's got like a bunch of reindeer with like really sharp teeth, and yeah, they can fly, but they can also eat you. 'Cause that's like a lot for the children. Okay. The next night they came down again and destroyed another house and ate up the people. Twisted Christmas story now. No. What shall we do? Cried the people to one another. They will destroy all of us if they keep on coming. I'm just down for stream with some food. Ooh, nice. Oh, little popcorn frog. He returned. It's been a minute since I seen a popcorn frog. I love. Okay. They will destroy us if they keep on coming. Yes. I know what I'm going to do, said the man who lived in the third house. They will come to my house the next time, and I'm going to cover it with deer fat and stick sour berries all over the fat. When the reindeer came the third night, they got their teeth full of fat and sour berries, and ran off shaking their heads so hard that their long, sharp teeth fell out. Hey! This guy fixed it. Can you imagine shaking your head so hard that all your teeth fell out and less effective teeth came in? Fun. But also I thought they were stomping the house down, not eating it. But I guess since it was covered in food, they were like, yeah, we'll eat it. I see. Okay, anyway, after that, small teeth, such as reindeer now have, came in their places, and these animals became harmless. Ah, yay. Good job, house number 3, dude. You did it. But Raven had not accomplished his purpose, for only 2 families had been destroyed, and there were still too many inhabitants left. I don't know how many inhabitants there are, but I have a feeling we are way more than what it was then. So, where are you at, Raven, to come and pull off a Thanos snap? Send some murderous caribou down. Come on. Okay. He said, if something isn't done, to stop people from killing so many animals. They will keep on until they have killed everything I have made. I believe I will take away the sun from them so that they will be in the dark and will die. This is so funny because there's a different story I know where it's a creation-ish story for other people, and it's Raven stole the sun, but to give it to people, not to take it from people, which is, it's silly. Anyway, okay. He took man up to the sky with him. I'm guessing the first man? I don't know. I'm sorry, I yawn. It has begun already. Oh. He took a man, I don't know which man, but he took man up to the sky with him so that he would be safe from the trouble to come. Then he said, "You remain here while I go and take away the sun." He went away and took the sun and put it into his skin bag and carried it far off to a part of the skyland where his parents lived, thus making it very dark on earth. Woohoo! Who were his parents? There in his father's village he stayed for a long time, keeping the sun carefully hidden in the bag. The people on earth were terribly distressed when it remained dark so long. They prayed to Raven and offered him rich present. Hey, Millennial! Thank you for rating in. Hi, Millennial! Millennial Echo, welcome. Hello. We're just getting into our story. Hi. Yes, thank you for doing the shout out. Woohoo! Where was? Yes. So, worried about it being dark and it being the Arctic. I'm like, oh, is this how they explain that the day without sun? Because there's depending how far north you are, you lose the sun for a little bit. Just like there's also days where you only have sun for a little bit. So is this this? Is this this? Okay. They prayed to Raven and offered him rich presents of food and furs, but he wouldn't bring back the sun. They kept on begging him, saying at last, "We have crept around in the darkness, finding our storehouses and getting the meat. Till now it is almost gone, and we are likely to starve. Let us have light for a little time at least, so we may get more food." So Raven yielded a trifle and held up the sun in one hand for 2 days, while all the people went hunting. Then he put it back, and darkness returned. Yes, Cage will do the sleuth. Cage will find. The darkness returned. Another long time would pass, and the people would make many offerings before he would let them have light again. This was repeated many times. In this same sky village with Raven and his parents lived an older brother of Raven who thought the punishment of man was being carried too far. This brother felt sorry for the people on earth, but he didn't say a word about it to anyone. He thought of a plan which he kept to himself. Ooh. Oh, darn. Yeah, I know that I don't have space for things. I don't have the operating capacity in the first place for some things with my Mac. But, yeah, some of it is storage. Ooh. Hopefully, I will fund the laptop and be able to fix that. But okay. Right, the brother. This is what I get for taking a breath. Okay. The brother's thinking about a plan. He keeps it to himself. After a time, he pretended to die and was put away in a grave box in the customary manner. As soon as the mourners left his grave, he arose and went out a short distance from the village, where he hid his raven mask and coat in a tree. Getting a lot of hard drives on my list of things. Oh, yes. It's a good move. He hid his mask and coat in a tree. Then he turned himself into a young boy and went back to his father's house, where he skipped about in a lively manner and amused the parents so much that the father at last became very fond of him. Did his father not recognize him? But okay. When he had gotten them in the habit of indulging him, he began to cry for the sun as a plaything. He kept this up until the father went to the bag and took out the sun and let him have it for a while, being careful to see that it went back into the bag when anyone was coming, or when the boy was going out of doors. One day the boy played with it for a time in the house, all the while watching his chance, and when no one was looking, he ran outside, fled to the tree where he put on his raven coat and mask, and flew away with it. When he was far up in the sky, he heard his father's voice, sounding faint and far below, saying, "Don't hide the sun. If you will not bring it back, let it out of the bag sometimes. Don't keep us always in the dark if you mean to keep the sun for yourself." So they're trying to say that now I guess the sky people want it, as well as the people of Earth. Is that what we're saying? Okay. The father went into the house, and the raven boy flew on to the place where the sun belonged, and put the bag down. It was early dawn, and he saw the Milky Way leading far onward, and followed it to a hole surrounded by short grass which glowed with light. He plucked some of the grass, and standing close beside the edge of the earth, just before sunrise time, he stuck it into the sky. It has stayed there ever since as the beautiful morning star. Then he went back and tore off the skin covering and put the sun in its place. I'm guessing they mean it. Okay. Anyway, remembering that his father had called to him to not keep it always dark, but to make it partly dark and partly light, he caused the sky to revolve so that it moved around the earth, carrying the sun and stars with it and making day and night. Oh, yay. Oh, hello, Pazuzzle. Welcome in. Little comma, just a little hello. Going down to earth, he came where the first people lived and said to them, "Raven, my uncle," I thought it was your brother. Anyway, was angry because you killed more animals than you needed, and he took away the sun, but I have put it back, and it will never be changed again. The people welcomed him warmly when they knew what he had done for them. As he looked upon them, he recognized the headman of the sky dwarfs. Oh no. "Why, what are you doing down here?" he asked. "I and some of my people thought we would like a change, and so we came down to live on earth for a while," replied the dwarf. "What has become of man?" "Who is man? I never heard of him," said Raven Boy. Okay, then who said what has become of man? This is confused. Okay. Raven Boy asks, "What are you doing down here?" The dwarf says he thought it would make a change. "What has become of man?" "I don't know who said that." "Who is man? I never heard of him," said Raven Boy. "He was the first person ever seen on earth. He was our headman until he went away with Raven," said the people. Maybe the people said what has become of man? I don't know. Oh, goodness. "I will go into the skyland and find him," said Raven Boy. He tried to fly, but could get up only a little way. He tried several times, getting only a short distance above the ground. Hey, why can't he fly? When he found that he could not get back to the sky, he wandered off and finally came to where there were living the children of the 3 men who last dropped from the pea vine. Okay, so we were with the first family. Now we're back to the group of 3 and their various peoples. There he took a wife and lived for a long time, having many children, all of whom were raven people like himself and could fly all over the earth. But they gradually lost their magical powers and were no longer able to turn themselves into men by pushing up their beaks. They became just ordinary ravens like those we see now on the tundras or marshy plains. The end. Okay. Okay, so our raven, brother, nephew, boy, whoever, the secondary raven, not our creationist raven, got married and had kids, and they turned into all the various ravens we meet today. But he's also the one that stole back the sun. So he is still a raven that stole the sun. There you go. But it's different from the story that I was meaning. Mildly confused. Yeah. I know that we're going to figure out the dwarf thing. We're going to learn about the dwarfs from the sky soon. I saw the title of one of the stories. I don't know what happened to our man. When creationist Raven stole the sun, he brought man up into the sky with him. And so we'll have to find out, where are we going with that? But yeah. Okay, well that's the end of the first story. Yeah, the next one is The Dwarf People, and it's pretty short, so I'm going to read that one. And then we will do break for redeems, okay? Let's do The Dwarf People. There we go. The sky people here, the dwarf people. Oh, sorry, I should write that here. Dwarf people. Okay. Very long ago, before the white people ever went into the land of the Inuit. Okay, interesting. The way that this opens is about that. There was a large village at Pikmiktaalik. One winter day, the people living there were surprised to see a small man and a small woman with a child coming down the river on the ice. The man was so little that he wore a coat made of a single white fox skin. The woman's coat was made from the skins of 2 white hares, while 2 muskrat skins clothed the child. The father and mother were about 2 cubits high. Cubits? Really? Okay. I'm just surprised that that's our measurement here. And the boy not over the length of one's forearm. Though he was so small, the man was dragging a sled much larger than those used by the villagers, and he had on it a heavy load of various articles. He seemed surprisingly strong, and when they came to shore below the village, he easily drew the sled up the steep bank, and taking it by the rear end, raised it on the sled frame, a feat which would have required the strength of several of the villagers. The couple entered one of the houses and were made welcome. This small family remained in the village for some time, the man taking his place among the other men, and seeming entirely at home and friendly. He was very fond of his little son, but one day when the latter was playing outside the house, he was bitten so badly by a savage dog that he died. Oh no. In his anger, the father caught the dog up by the tail. Oh goodness, this is not nice. And struck it against a post so violently that the dog fell in halves. He hit a dog into 2 halves. Oh my gosh. In his great sorrow, the father made a handsome carved grave box for his son and placed the child with his toys in it. Then he went into his house, and for 4 days he did no work and would see no one. At the end of that time he took his sled and with his wife returned up the river on their old trail, while the villagers sorrowfully watched them go, for they had come to like the pair very much. Before this time the villagers had always made the body of their sleds from long strips of wood running lengthwise, but after they had seen the dwarf's sled, with many cross pieces, they adopted that model. Okay. We hope to see you again soon, Millennial. Hopefully it worked good. Before this time, too, they had always cast their dead out on the tundra to be devoured by the dogs and wild beasts. But after they had seen the dwarf people bury their son in a grave box with toys placed about him, they buried their dead in that way and observed 4 days of mourning, as had been done by the dwarf, for they liked him and his gentle manners. And ever since that time the hunters coming home at dusk and looking toward the darkening tundra sometimes see dwarf people who carry bows and arrows, but who disappear into the ground if one tries to approach them. They are harmless people, never attempting to do anyone an injury. No one has ever spoken to these dwarfs since the time they left the village, but deer hunters have often seen their tracks near the foot of the mountains. The end. Okay, not the answer I thought we were going to get to any of this, but there that one was. Okay, no answer. We've got another short one, and then is the next one? No, that one's also pretty tiny. Oh, goodness. Lots of short stories. Oh, that one's longer. Okay. The next little block I'll do then is 3 stories long. I'll do What Happened to the Lone Woman of St. Michael. That's next. And then after that, Why the Moon Waxes in Wanes. And then Chunks of Daylight before our next redeems. But right now is redeems, so I'm giving you a minute to drop those in while I write all these out. Because that's what I'll do next. Woman. See, Michael. And then this one was Why the Moon Waxes and Wanes. And then Chunks of Daylight. An interesting title. Okay. Sticks rustle. Yeah. Let's pull those guys out. Okay. Let's do this. Yes, yes, yes. I'm here for it, Fett. Let's do that. Okay. That's what we'll do first up. There we go. Our sticks rustling. Thank you for the follow, Angel Thiago. Ooh. Thank you, and welcome. Thank you for following. Okay, there's our sticks rustle. Okay. Do we have any other redeems? Everybody's very slow and quiet. I'm feeling the throat. I'm gonna try something that was a very hot ticket for a minute. I'm gonna do mic arm sharpening. Mic arf, no. This is what we do. Okay, there we go. reset. Why did my mic go weirdly quiet? Ooh, nice love there, Generium. God, you and Millennial have it. I've just done the mic arm sharpening. What else should we do? Choosing random triggers because y'all are very quiet. I know what I'll do. I'm gonna do tippy tappies on a singing bowl. And then we'll get into the next set of stories. Here we go. Hello, Mona. Welcome. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for that. And thank you for sending out the shout out cage. Thank you. Welcome everybody. I see you're all spooked and cozy. You're spooked from creepypastas. Oh no. But hello, welcome in. We're gonna be just reading folktales, and so I think it should be a lot less spooky. If it were a spooky time, I wouldn't have my frogs out, my little frogs on my antlers and here on my rock. So, but welcome, and oh, there's everything's still moving. Maneko, thank you for bringing your community, and thank you. You can go ahead and rest and eat and disappear or lurk if you so choose. No need to stick around, it's okay. Oh, thank you, everybody. Well, hopefully you will be saved from the spookies. I'm sorry. Some of this isn't all perfect sunshiny when we're reading our folk tales, but they should be better than spooky stuff. It's not silly like the European folk tales usually are, but we'll see if we can't find something fun. I'm just doing a little bit of tappies is what you came in on, and I was going to start into the next round. I shall protect you from the one that can snipe when cage knife one. Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha ha. Silly name. Silly pun, I mean. On your name. I will be lurking. Okay, thank you. I'm also going to slowly scroll back and thank you for the... I know I saw... Oh no, it moved. Don't move on me, please. Okay. I have to say... Thank you for the follow, Miss McBling. Welcome, thank you. And thank you for the follow, Joe Bees. Thank you, welcome. I always say the full name when you give me a follow, so I have to do. Oi! Thank you for the follow, Big Man Georgie. Thank you, welcome. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna put down my singing bowl after. There you go, last little tappies. And I put away. And we'll get to our next stories. How about that? Ooh, okay. We readjust because back to story. All right. The first. No, we'll do that. We'll do that first. This is a long title, so we're doing copy paste. Okay. We're reading from. Oh yes, for sure. Go ahead and lurk away. Lurk. We are going to be reading from an anthology about folktales from, the native people of North America specifically. This one is about way north in the Arctic. They use a word that it's a slur. Back in when this book was published, 1922, it was like less seen as a slur, but it was still not nice. We still don't like it. If it was someone that was kinder about things, maybe I'd be saying it because it was kind of used often then, but this author is not very nice. So we might have to also have little, the author is being a mean lady again. But right now, it's very good. Oh yeah, and I'm Raven. Hi. Which is extra weird because our stories involve the, like, folktale character that is like a creationist, Raven. Not me. Yes, I am a deer woman. I'm a different whole couple of things. But, this is different. Okay, so the title is very long for this one. What Happened to the Lone Woman of St. Michael? About Native American folktales. Yeah, this is what we do and so I'll be starting that in. I will be tiptoeing around the E word. I shuffle, I change seat. I'll be saying Inuit for that, even if they might mean more than just the Inuit people, because there was more people than just Inuit. But okay, here we go. What happened to the lone woman of St. Michael? The women south of St. Michael are poor seamstresses but fine dancers. Well, okay then. While those to the north are expert needlewomen but poor dancers. And this is the way the Inuit explain it. Okay then. Very long ago there were many men living in the Northland, but there was no woman among them. Far away in the Southland, a single woman was known to live. At last the shrewdest young man of the Northland started and traveled southward till he came to a woman's house, where he stopped and became her husband. Oh, lovely. He was very proud of himself for getting ahead of the other young men in the north. One day he sat in the house thinking of his former home, and he said, "Ah, I have a wife, while even the son of the headman has none. How did the man have a son without any women? Okay, but anyway." Meanwhile, the headman's son had also set out to journey toward the south. While the husband was talking thus to himself, the son stood in the entrance to the house and heard what he said. It angered the son to hear the husband gloating over him. He hid in the passage and waited until the people inside were asleep, when he crept into the house and, seizing the woman by the shoulders, began dragging her away. Oh no. Just as he reached the doorway, he was overtaken by the husband, who caught the woman by her feet. The two held on like grim death and tugged and pulled until it ended in the woman being torn in two. Not yea. No! The thief carried the upper half of the body away, while the husband was left with the lower portion of his wife. What? Oh, okay. Each man set to work to replace the missing parts from the carved wood. How has this sort of thing happened twice in a row? It's weird. If I get a nickel for every time, which is only two, but still weird. No, you're missing the part where it becomes a folk tale. They carved the missing halves from wood. After these parts were fitted on, they came to life, and thus the two women were made from the halves of one. And now it makes sense. See, the boy from the north took his top half woman up north, and she had her real human hands. And then the bad legs, because it was wooden legs, so she don't dance. And then the do you see how I mean? Because that's what they're about to say. Okay, owing to the clumsiness of her wooden fingers, the woman of the south was a poor needlewoman, but she was a fine dancer. The woman of the north was very expert in needlework, but her wooden legs made her a poor dancer. Each of these women gave these traits to her daughters, so that to the present time the same difference is noted between the women of the north and those of the south. And then in quotes here, thus showing that the story is true. The end. And here's the proof. Women are still bad at the same things in these same places. There's your proof, sir. What? This is the fun bit to these sorts of stories. It's so goofy. Okay, here's the next one. And reminder, I'm gonna read this next story and then one more that's a little bit longer, and then we'll have another break for triggers. So go ahead and pick out what you want to do and add it to the list. I'll do it after the next story. Not this one, but the next one. So this one is Why the Moon Waxes and Wanes. And I will give it the spaces this time because it's not such a long-ass title. This font is very squishy in. Anyway, okay, here we go. Why the Moon Waxes and Wanes. Oh, yes. Sorry. Rock solid evidence. But okay, here's the next one. In a certain village on the Yukon River, there once lived 4 brothers and a sister. Remember us talking about the Yukon? Freaking relevant. Okay. The sister's companion was the youngest boy. Oh, okay, big man Georgie. Thanks for joining us. Good night. Have a good time. And thank you for the redeem. We will get to that soon enough. Okay, the sister's companion was the youngest boy, of whom she was very fond. This boy was lazy and could never be made to work. Oh boy. The other brothers were great hunters, and in the fall they hunted at sea, for they lived near the shore. As soon as the bladder feast in December was over, they went to the mountains and hunted a reindeer. The boy never went with them, but remained at home with his sister, and they amused each other. Okay. Boy, I like that little sleep well. It's a cutie. Yes, sleep wells. Okay. One time, however, she became angry at him. And that night, when she carried food to the other brothers in the Kashim? I don't know. Or assembly house where the men slept, she gave none to the youngest brother. When she went out of the assembly house, she saw a ladder leading up into the sky. Ooh. Oh, hey, you're back after your... Well, then, there you go. It kind of worked. I wish it worked better for you, but oh boy. Glad you're back, Millennial. Okay, so the girl saw a ladder leading up to the sky with a line hanging down by the side of it. Taking hold of the line, she ascended the ladder, going up into the sky. As she was going up, the younger brother came out, and seeing her, at once ran back and called to his brothers, "Our sister is climbing the sky! Our sister is climbing the sky!" "Oh, you lazy youngster, why do you tell us that? She is doing no such thing," said they. "Come and see for yourselves! Come quick!" he cried, very much excited. Sure enough, up she was going at a rapid rate. The boy cut up in his sealskin breeches, and being in a hurry, thrust one leg into them, and then drew a deerskin sock on the other foot as he ran outside. Why on only one? There he saw the girl far away up in the sky and began at once to go up the ladder toward her, but she floated away, he following in turn. Okay, so she's really going. The girl became the sun. Oh, usually it's the other way around. People usually do the moon as feminine. That's so cool. The girl became the sun, and the boy became the moon. This must be from a different group than the folks that believed in the raven story, but okay. Or maybe not. Maybe this is from before then. And ever since that time, he pursues her, but never overtakes her. Well, what about eclipses? At night, the sun sinks in the west, and the moon is seen coming up in the east to go circling after, but always too late. The moon, being without food, wanes slowly away from starvation until it is quite lost to sight. Then the sun reaches out and feeds it from the dish in which she carried food to the Kashim. After the moon is fed and gradually brought to the full, it is permitted to starve again, thus producing the waxing and waning which we see every month. I guess 'cause the little boy was the lazy one and she was the one with the food. Huh. The end. What a story. Question marks. See, it's not so spoopy now. There you go, guys. I need to get another stronger hard drive, meaning I'm going to have to spend $7. Oh no. Ugh. Hi, Devon. Doing good. Welcome back. Oh yes, welcome back. That's what that one is. Okay. Okay, last one before our redeems. So pop those in. This one is Chunks of Daylight. Why did I go small? Don't go small. Model. Okay. Well, thank you for hydrate. I will hydrate. I will do stretch. Okay. Ooh. Alright. I did stretch. And now I have some things to do. Ooh. Thank you for the follow. Mayo is spicy. Is it spicy? Maybe you were talking about spicy mayo. I don't think mayo is spicy. Well, hello, mayo is spicy. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Alright. Chunks of Daylight. Here we go. At the northern part of the continent. I thought that's where all of this is. Anyway. In the land of the midnight sun, where in the long summer days the sun at midnight is just slipping below the northern horizon and immediately is seen coming up again. Okay, so we're in the summer, yay. And it's the midnight sun that I had vaguely referenced a bit ago. And where in the long nights of winter there is scarcely any daytime at all. Yes, there you go. It is not strange that the legends of the people often treat of daylight and especially of darkness. The long nights become oppressive, and the people have different theories as to the cause of it, which they weave into legends such as the following. Oh no, I don't like the way that this is framed. This is sounding a lot less like our stories and more like our author has done stuff. And if you remember, I warned that the author isn't very nice about this stuff, so I don't like how this is gonna go. Anyway, okay. In the days when the earth was a child, there was a light from the sun and moon as there is now. Then the sun and moon were taken away, and the people were left for a long time with no light but the shining of the stars. That sounds like our raven story earlier. The shamans or priests. I feel like this is someone imposing a title onto this. I don't think those were the titles that the people had for themselves. Okay. They made their strongest charms to no purpose, for the darkness of night continued. Okay. In a village of the lower Yukon, there lived an orphan boy who always sat upon the bench with the humble people over the entranceway of the Kashim or assembly house. The other people thought he was foolish, and he was despised and ill-treated by everyone. After the shamans, oh my gosh, okay, had tried very hard to bring back the sun and moon and had failed, the boy began to ridicule them. What fine shamans you must be, not to be able to bring back the light when even I can do it, he said mockingly. So I guess we've got this is about to be a whole new version of how to get the sun back. How many stories are we going to have about this? Anyway, okay. At this, the shamans became very angry and beat him and drove him out of the kashim. I don't know how. Kashim? Okay. The orphan was like any other boy until he put on a black coat, which he had, when he became a raven and remained in that form until he removed his coat. This is feeling similar, so maybe this is just a different version of our story before. This is the raven boy that, disagreed with the other family members in the house about where the sun should go, so maybe this is just a different version of it. But it do feel a little bit funny. The sun do be popular. It do, and I guess up there, if you were living with how it was inconsistent and it does what it wants to do, you might come up with some extra stories about it. But anyway, okay. In the other ones, for those of our friends that are here that didn't know, it's the idea is that the ravens in these other ones had their beaks that they would push up into like a visor. They would wear it like a hat, and then they would be a man. But then they would put it down, and then they would be a person. And then the last story in that kind of route, that was when the raven took away the sun. Raven, that was like kind of a creation story, Raven. And he took the sun back to his parents' house, and in his parents' house was his brother that called him uncle, and interesting time there. And that little raven boy stole the sun back for the people. So, and in that one, he didn't just raise his visor; he also took off his black coat. So I guess it's similar. Hey, Pudgy Tater dude! I referenced your name in our origami stream today. Raven can control the sun. Actually, I was saying this in the last one. There's quite a few different versions where the Raven character, whoever that character is in the different communities that are telling the story, is often the being in charge of getting the sun to the people. This one, I guess, and one that I had known when I was growing up. So, like, the Raven bringing the sun to the people is like a thing, I guess. I don't know. Alright, here we go. Alright, so he was ill-treated. He can bring it back. He had a black coat when he became a raven and remained in that form until he removed his coat. There you go. When the shamans drove him out, he went to the house of his aunt in the village and told her what he had said, and how the shamans had beaten him and driven him out of the kashim. "Tell me where the sun and moon have gone, for I am going after them," said he. "They are hidden somewhere, but I don't know where that is," she replied. "I am sure you know where they are, for look what a neatly sewed coat you wear, and you could not see to do that if you did not know where the light is." Ooh, good point, little dude. After a great deal of persuasion, the aunt said, "Well, if you wish to find the light, you must take your snowshoes and go far, far to the southland, to the place you will know when you get there." Okay. Go south to find the sun. Sounds like we're in winter time. That's about it. The boy put on his black coat, took his snowshoes, and at once set off for the south. For many days he traveled, while the darkness always remained the same. When he had gone a very long way, he saw far ahead of him a single ray of light, and that cheered and encouraged him. As he hurried on, the light showed again plainer than before, and then vanished, and kept appearing and vanishing at intervals. At last he came to a large hill, one side of which was in a bright light while the other was in darkness of night. Ahead of him, and close to the hill, he saw a hut with a man who was shoveling snow from the front of it. Okay. The man was tossing the snow high in air, and each time he did this the light was hidden, thus causing the changes from light to darkness, which the boy had noticed as he approached. So each shovel of snow is a light switch, or is a cloud going over the sun? I can't tell what they mean. Close beside the house he saw a great blazing ball of fire, the light he had come to find. There it is, it's the sun. The boy stopped and began to plan how he could secure the light and the shovel from the man. After a time he walked up to the man and asked, "Why are you throwing up the snow and hiding the light from our village?" The man stopped his work, looked up and said, "I am only clearing away the snow from my door. I'm not hiding the light. But who are you and where do you come from?" "All fair questions, sir. It is so dark at our village that I do not like to live there." "Okay, so I came here to live with you. Do you think maybe the reasons you didn't like to live there was because they were abusing you? Maybe? No? Okay. All right, it's just the light." "Sure. Anyway, so that's why," said the boy. "What? Will you stay all the time?" asked the man in surprise. "Oh no." "All the time?" "Yes," replied the boy. "That is well. Come into the house with me," said the man. "Does that mean that you were concerned the boy would leave? Who are you, sir?" "I'm concerned." He dropped his shovel on the ground, and stooping down, led the way into the underground passage to the house, letting the curtain fall in front of the door as he passed, for he thought the boy was close behind him. The moment the door flap fell behind the man as he entered, the boy caught up the ball of light and put it in the turned-up flap of his fur coat in front. Catching up the shovel in one hand, he ran away to the north, running until his feet became tired, and he's running in snowshoes, so that. Have y'all tried? It's not easy. Then he whipped on his magic coat and became a raven, and flew as fast as his wings could carry him. Hey, the raven is stealing the sun and bringing it back. Every time it is a theft. Every time the raven is a thief. I will clarify each of these also. The raven is a thief that brings the sun. It is a Robin Hood story, and every time it's fun. They're like skiing. If you were trying to make steps with skis, it would be kind of like it, but not the same, no. Behind, he heard the frightful shrieks and cries of the old man following fast in pursuit. Oh no. When the old man found that he could not overtake the raven, he cried to him, "Never mind, you may keep the light, but give me my shovel." "No, you made our village dark, and you cannot have the shovel," called the raven, and flew faster, leaving the man far in the rear. The way that that's worded. Oh my god. Leaving the man far in the rear. What? Okay. As the raven boy traveled home, he tore out a chunk from the light ball and threw it away, thus making day. Then he went on for a long way in the darkness and threw out another piece of light, making it day again. He continued to do this at intervals until he reached the Kashim in his own village, where he dropped the rest of the ball. Then he went into the Kashim and said, "Now, you worthless shamans, you see I have brought back the light, and hereafter it will be light and then dark, making day and night." And the shamans could not answer. The end. Well, okay then, if you say so, little dude. I'm a little confused how that went when he's just tossing out chunks. Is it like night and then day as you walk over places? That's the way that sounds. But anyway. Okay. That was yet another stealing of the sun. Alrighty. But okay, now we'll do some triggers. Here we go. We have our brushes, glass jar and then sticks. So let's start with brushies. Okay. I'm going to turn up my microphone. Oh my gosh, how long has it been quieter? My OBS does this all the time. Where if I click on it at a certain time or place or whatever, it just randomly changes the volume. I don't get it, and I don't like it either. Okay. Here's some brushies with the volume way up. I hope you'll hear well. Here we go. There we go. And then I'll put it back to normal. Alright. You didn't know whether you should say, yeah, it's, I would go on the side of definitely say something with me at least. Because, like, if it's not true, then I'll tell you, oh no, it's fine. But if it is something that I should know and should do something about, then I know about it and I can start doing something. Yeah, it's so weird. It's like if I don't click it, it'll stay where it should be. And then if I click, oh, I'm just going to change the trigger to reading. I don't know. And in me clicking it, it changes the volume. And it's like, oh, all I did was hit transition between trigger and now reading like I've got here. Why did it change? That or I'm not noticing when it just goes somewhere. I don't know. And sometimes it'll just move a little bit, and sometimes it'll move a lot. It's very annoying. It's no nice. Okay, we're gonna do glass jar tappy taps. And hopefully... Oh no, my voice! Frogs in the throat. Hopefully, the audio is still good. Okay. Glass jar... No! Oh my gosh. How many times do I have to misspell? There we go. Alright, here we go. Here's the glass jar tappies time. Alright. Okay. Hello. Tap, tap, tap. The potato. Chinese squirrels. What? What? What does that have to do with anything? I don't know what's happening. What? What was next though? Sticks. Yes, it's time for the sticks wrestle again. We will go with sticks. And they will be wrestling. Not wrestling. But just wrestled. Hello, Brian. Oh my gosh. What nice words are you going to give to chat now? Yes, it has been a minute, Hi on Bear, but it's good to see you again, and you have entered with such unhinged nonsense. So lovely. Okay, I pull out the sticks. The sticky sticks. Japanese gopher. Oh, you silly tater. Ah! Oop. I am doing good. I hope everyone else in chat is doing good. But here is some sticks to be wrestled. Here we go. Okay, there's our sticks. All done being rustled. I want to see your emote fet in our Discord. I want to see your art. And Brian, you are so nice. You say all such nice things. So nice. Look at it, chat. Brian says you are fabulous and amazing and you are worthy of all the nice things in life. How sweet is Brian? Also fully worthy of all those things too, of course. But alright, I'm going to swap into stories again. Here we go. It is the red bear. And right now I'm wondering where Rad Bear is because we have the red bear, but not the rad bear. But based on how animals do die in these particular stories, maybe it is good that Rad is not here. I don't know. Oh, okay. I'm excited for this one. It's looking like it's going to be lots of stuff. Alright, the Rad Bear. Not terribly long. Or the red bear, not the red bear. Oops. Yee. Okay. I remember having a bad day a while ago. For sure. Oh my gosh, that's so awful. Wow. Okay. So now I may need to have a big warning before Singing Bowl, I guess. Oh boy. I have to be careful. But now I know. That's so crazy, Ion Bear. But now I know. Wow. Ooh. Apparently you're spooky, Singing Bowl. You're spooky. Ooh. I've always liked it because it sounds very pretty to me. So, like, oh boy. But now I know. Oh, goodness. And yes, oh, Brian being so nice to the mods. And look at that. Mega mod love. That's a very good one. Not sure about the wording. You may need it, but it was very situational. Yeah, if it can be a really spooky sound, like the knife sharpening, I guess I could have considered that too. But like, then I should remember that. Okay, anyway, here we go. The Red Bear. After a brief yawning interruption, I'm sorry. I'm glad it hasn't happened again. I'm glad you're better. You made me. Brian, you've already thanked me. Like, thank you. Okay, I focus. It is the Red Bear. Here we go. On the tundra, south of the mouth of the Yukon River, back to the Yukon. An orphan boy once lived with his aunt. They were all alone with no house within sight. Oh, goodness. But the boy had heard that there were people living farther up the river. All right, let's go. Yeah. Yes. Sorry. One summer day, he got into his kayak and rowed up the river, hoping to find other human beings. Ooh, the rat bear. Ooh, nice. Fair. Ryan rolled a 3. Oof. Ion Bear rolled a 15. That's pretty good. That's nice. That's good. And a bad riz for Brian today. We have seen worse numbers today. We have. But not quite. Okay, focus. Focus, Raven. Oh, thank you. I will get to those in a minute because I just did some of those. Be healthy, girl. Okay, fine. I'll be healthy. I won't even drink the... I'll make sure it's water I hydrate with. Water. I healthy. Posture check. Oh boy. Rearrange everything. Grr. Okay. Okay. Rearrange. Oh, there is stretch. Okay. I have done it. Can I read my story now? Okay. Right, he rode up. He went to look for other people. Oh no! Another yawn. Eep. Okay. Focus. He traveled on until he came to a large village where he saw many people moving about. Hey, he found peoples. There he landed and began calling to the people, expecting to make friends with them. Well, the way they said of expecting, oh, this is not going to be fun. It's no friends. This is not friends. Oh, no. Oh, did I give you a yawn, Cage? I'm sorry. Okay. I'm gonna get myself... I just did another, but I did it quiet so I don't make it contagious. I'm sorry. Okay. So he's expecting to make friends, and this is gonna go very bad. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm surprised. Stop. Okay, focus, Raven. Revenge of the Yawns, really? Okay, focus. No. Just playing yawn tag. Stop it. Don't tell me about it. I can't hear it right now. Feedback loop, really? Focus. I cry. I blush. Is a fact. Okay. Okay. I focus. focus. Okay. Ah, all right. No. My motto looked very stupid when that one attacked, but I, I tried to hide. Oh no. This little boy is about to not have a fun time and we're just giggling over here. Okay, this poor orphan with his aunt. They have no house. About to get wrecked. Sorry, okay. He's expecting to make friends with these people he's found up the Yukon River, yeah. But instead of being friendly, they disliked all strangers, and running down to the shore, they seized him, broke his kayak to pieces, tore his clothing off him, and beat him badly. Oh no. Then they took him up into the village and kept him there all summer, beating and ill-treating him very often. No. In the fall, one of the men took pity on him and made him a kayak, okay, and helped him to escape. Good. He went down the river and arrived home after a long absence, and I have to imagine his aunt has got to figure out something with herself, 'cause she's homeless this whole time. My gosh. I apologize. Okay. During the summer, other people had built houses near the home of his aunt. Oh, so she does have a home? And there was a small village instead of the one lone hut. Okay, cool. He walked among the buildings until he found his aunt's house, but when he entered, he frightened her very much, for at first glance she thought it was a skeleton. He had been starved and beaten so long. No. When his aunt recognized him and had heard his story, she said, "Oh, you poor boy, what you must have suffered. I am full of rage at those cruel villagers. I shall find some way to revenge your wrongs. Hell yeah, auntie." She sat thinking a while and then said to him, "Bring me a piece of a small dog." He brought the piece of small log. Ooh. He brought the piece of wood, and she whittled and rubbed it into the form of an animal with long teeth and long sharp claws, and painted it white on the throat and red on the sides. Ooh. Then they took the image of the edge of the stream and placed it in the water. "Go now," she said to it, "and kill everyone you find in the village where my boy was beaten." The image did not move. She took it out of the water and cried over it, letting her tears fall upon it, and the warm tears brought it to life and made it feel sorry for her and the boy. She put it back into the water. "Now go and kill the bad people who beat my boy," she said. At this the image floated across the creek and crawled up on the other side, where it began to grow, soon becoming a large red bear. I'm confused how it didn't move while in the creek. Was the creek not flowing? Anyway. It turned and looked at the woman till she called out, "Go, and spare no one." The bear went away and came to the village on the big river, the one to which the boy had gone. There the first one he met was a man going for water. This one was quickly torn in pieces, and one after another of the villagers met the same fate. For the bear stayed near the village until he had destroyed one half of the people, and the rest were so terrified that they began moving away. Then he swam across the Yukon and went over the tundra to the farther side of another river, killing everyone he met, for he had become so bloodthirsty that the least sign of life seemed to fill him with fury until he had destroyed it. Oh no! It's gotten out of hand. From there, he turned back, and one day he came to the place on the river where he had first come to life. Seeing the people on the opposite side, he became furious, tearing the ground with his claws and growling, and starting to cross the river to get at them. When the villagers saw this, they were much frightened, and ran about saying, "Here is the old woman's dog." Do you mean log? "We shall all be killed. Tell the old woman to stop her dog." It's not a dog. They had never seen a bear, and they thought it was a dog she had made. Oh, oop. The woman went to meet the bear, which did not try to hurt her, but was passing by her to get at the other people when she caught him by the hair on the back of his neck. "Good move, Mamma. Do not hurt these people," she said. "They have been kind to me and have given me food when I was hungry." She led the bear into her house, and still holding on to him, she talked to him kindly. "You have done my bidding well, and I am pleased with you," she said, "but you must not overdo it. Hereafter you must injure no one unless he tries to hurt or injure you." When she had finished talking, she led him to the door and sent him away over the tundra. Before she made him, there had never been any of his kind, but since then there have always been red bears. And I'm not sure I have ever seen it. Do they mean a grizzly bear? What is a red bear? Show me a red bear, Google. No, that's a panda. We're talking about the Arctic. Okay. Yes, the Inuit red bear. Not helping. Yeah, I think it just must be a grizzly. Just how they refer to a grizzly, maybe. Then again, there's a bunch of polar bears. I think that's because it's all bear and Inuit. And just put those two together. What is the red bear? Oh, the Himalayan mountains looks reddish, apparently. Google says so. Red bear. No, not red pandas. Ah, okay. Unhelpful. Unclear. Ugh. Okay. There is the red bear. Let me see how long this one is. Oh, heck. I'll read this one too. We're going to read the last of the Thunderbirds before we go into the next ones. Sniffa, sniffa, I smell a cutie. It's me. You smell yourself. Ha ha ha. I will do the sniffas after the last of the Thunderbirds. It's another shorter story, and I will read this one, and then we will do the next, all the redeems. So, get in your redeems while you can, people. Actually, where do we go? The last of the Thunderbirds. Here we go. The last of the Thunderbirds. One more. Okay, I am there. Sounds good. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. In ancient times, a great many giant eagles or thunderbirds lived in the mountains. But in later years they had all disappeared except one single pair, which made their home in the mountain top overlooking the Yukon near Sabatniski. The top of this mountain was round, and the eagles had hollowed out a great basin on the summit, which they used for a nest. Around the edge of it was a rocky trim from which they could see far across the broad river, or could look down upon the village at the base of the mountain on the water's edge. From their perch on this rocky wall, these great birds would soar away, looking like a cloud in the sky, to seize a reindeer from a passing herd and bring it to their young. Or again they would circle out with a noise like thunder from their shaking wings, and drop down upon a fisherman in his kayak on the river, carrying man and boat to the top of the mountain. There the man would be eaten by the young thunderbirds, and the kayak would lie bleaching among the bones and other refuse scattered along the border of the nest. Every fall the young birds would fly away to the Northland, while the old ones would remain by the mountain. After many fishermen had been carried away by the birds, there came a time when only the most daring would venture upon the river. One summer day a brave young hunter was starting out to look at his fish traps, and he said to his wife, "Don't go outside the house while I am away, for fear of the birds." After he was gone, he noticed that the water tub was empty, and took a bucket to go to the river for water. As she bent over to fill the vessel, a roaring noise like thunder filled the air, and one of the birds darted down and seized her in its talons. "No, he said not to leave the house, and look at what's happened." No. The villagers saw the bird swoop down, and they wailed aloud in sorrow and terror as they watched her being carried through the air to the mountain top. The hunter came, and the villagers gathered about with many lamentations. "Oh, pitiful, pitiful, your pretty wife was carried away by the Thunderbirds. Too bad, too bad. By this time she is torn to pieces and fed to the young demons." Not one word did the husband utter. Going into his empty house, he took down his bow and his quiver of war arrows and started toward the mountain. Don't go, cried the villagers. "Of what use is it? She is dead and devoured, ere this." It's just funny, demons and ear, and the translations, what a time. Anyway, sorry. "You will only add one more to their victims." Not a word did the hunter reply. He strode on, and they watched him climbing up and up the mountainside till he was lost to view. At last he gained the rim of the nest and looked in. The old birds were away, but the fierce young eagles greeted him with shrill cries and fiery flashing eyes. The hunter's heart was full of anger, and he quickly bent his bow, loosing the war arrows one after another till the last one of the hateful birds lay dead in the nest. With heart still burning for revenge, the hunter hid himself inside a great rock near the nest and waited for the parent birds. They came. They saw their young lying dead and bloody in the nest, and their cries of rage echoed from the cliffs on the farther side of the great river. They soared up into the air, looking for the one who had killed their young. Quickly they saw the brave hunter beside the great stone, and the mother bird swooped down upon him. I'm sorry. Okay. Her wings sounding like a gale in a spruce forest. Swiftly fitting an arrow to the string, as the eagle came down, the hunter sent it deep into her throat. With a hoarse cry she turned and flew away over the hills far to the north. The father bird had been circling overhead and came roaring down upon the hunter, who at the right moment crouched close to the ground behind the stone, and the eagle's sharp claws struck only the hard rock. As the bird arose, eager to swoop down again, the hunter sprang from his shelter and drove 2 heavy war arrows deep under its wing. Uttering hoarse cries of rage and spreading his broad wings, the Thunderbird floated away like a cloud in the sky far into the Northland and was never seen again. Is that because the model glitched out or because I yawned? Which one? Okay, last little bit. Having taken blood vengeance, the hunter went down into the nest, where among ribs of old canoes and other bones he found some fragments of his wife, which he carried to the water's edge, and building a fire, made food offerings and libations of water, such as would be pleasing to her ghost. The end. Yes, yawns do that sometimes. They make you stop working. No, more like my model always glitches out when I try and do big stretches and yawns. It's a very big risk that I will just suddenly face plant or turn tiny. Who knows with this? But okay, there it was. The last of the Thunderbirds. So now we'll get to those redeemers. Let's go. Okay. Boop, boop. I said boop. Okay, good. We start with Sniffs. think I'm doing well to mimic a dog. Yes, exactly. POV, you have cheese on your fingers and there is a dog. A big sniff for the end. Alright, is that our snips? That's our snips. Let's do some glass jar tappies. It's for me? Yeah, the doggos. They always think it's for them. Okay. Okay. What's Aj? I don't know what is. Here we go with the glass jar though. Oh. There's an ad right now? No. There's no ad. I am not running an ad. There should be no ad. Please tell me there's not an ad. Oh. A concern. Oh. Okay. I see now. Well then, you did request this. I will wait a short bit. I will hydrate. Do. Haha. And I will write out how would I prep for the next story. The next one is Raven. Raven makes an ocean voyage. That's going to be interesting. Raven makes an ocean voyage. I'm not doing it. The Raven of the stories will, I assume, will be back to the Raven that made the men Raven. I hope. Anyway, okay. I hope you can hear me again, Ion Bear. I'm going to start the tappies. Here we go. Okay, I will do comb twing. Do. Hi, mask. Yay. I don't worry about it. I don't keep attendance. So good. I may have to be taking a short break soon. You always make such terrible entrances sometimes, Mask, when you show up at the very end and stuff. But I will be doing comb twing. And then maybe I will take a short break and then I will come back for more stories. I'm not leaving yet. Just taking a break maybe. Okay, here we go. Comb twing. go. There is comb. Why do you think you are blind? Morning, Doda. Welcome. But why do you think you are blind? I will have to step out for BRB. It will not be long, and I will be back. And we will come back with Raven makes an ocean voyage. Because it says you've been going for 7 hours. What? That is wrong. I've been going for 1 hour and 43 minutes. I promise. 7 hours is not true. Not this time. I'm going to run an ad while I go so that I take advantage so that we don't have to do an ad later when I am still here. And yeah, I'll be back. So I promise it won't be long. And then we'll come back with Raven Makes an Ocean Voyage. And I'm going to go through, I think I'm going to make the promise. You know what? I will. We're going to finish this book tonight. We're going to get through it. So yeah, okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to do the BRB. And I will be back. I promises. Hello, I am back. I see Ion Bear is joking because the ages ago I promised I would finish something and then we were there way too late. Yeah, hopefully we don't do that today. But I also see that while I was away, I hit 775 followers. Excite. Thank you for the follow. One Mr. or Maru, I don't know. But hey, thank you. Welcome, welcome. Time to do an ADHD. No! Don't do this to me. Okay, I am going back to the story. What did it do? Okay, we are back to reading, and we will read. Here we go. Raven, Makis, and Ocean Voyage. No, almost there. Okay. Okay. Raven makes an ocean voyage. Here we go. Lahonk, are those eyes because you want me to do an ADHD or because no? Yeah, you right, Mask. Okay, anyway. Interesting. Okay, here we go with Raven. Thank you. Stare. I see you stare. I don't know why you stare. That is why I ask. Why do you stare such? Why? ¿Por qué? Pourquoi? Huh? Violence? Who could have guessed Lahonk being violent? Okay, I focus. Raven makes an ocean voyage. Here we go. Ah! Now, I thought that popped up earlier. It had not popped up yet. Lahonk. Lahonk instead of Lahonk. Lahonk. Oh. Okay, here we go. One day, Raven was sitting on a cliff near the sea when he saw a large whale passing close along the shore. I have an idea, said he. I'm going to try something new. Then he called out to the whale, when you come up again, shut your eyes and open your mouth wide, and I'll put something in it. Shut your eyes, open your mouth, and I'm going to put something in your mouth? Okay. Interesting, Raven. I know you're a bit of a trickster, but could we not? Then he drew down his mask, put his drill for making fire under his wing, and flew out over the water. Everybody be, Hold up, wait a minute, something not right. Okay, but he's flying over the water. Very soon the whale came up again and did as he'd been told. Yep, Raven, seeing the wide open mouth, flew straight down the whale's throat. Okay, you put yourself in the mouth, because of course you did. It's just all of you instead of what it could have been. Anyway, moving on. Not here for any of the story. This is the beginning of the story, friend. It's just jumping right in. Raven is referring to some of the other stories. Raven is a creation character that is one part the bird, one part like a person, a man. It's a time. You hear for the beginning. It's good. This is par for the course for most of the stories tonight. Well, it kind of is. there be something. I did a quick stream test and I think I fixed it. Oh yay! Good to hear that, Millennial. Good to hear it's sorted. We read wacky stories here. We do. On one part, fairy tales be wacky generally, and then one part, the translation and sanitization, when they do that, it get extra wacky. It's just every time. And then they're old, so that then there's the extra layer of the translating the old-timey speak to now kind of thing, where like we would not have phrased it as such today. Okay, I wish you luck then, Millennial. So why Raven's so excited? I'm just being silly. I don't know about excited, but I be silly. The wooden half ladies. It was such a silly explanation story. It was so fun and nonsense and violent. What the heck was that? It's not so fun that it was very possessive, like women as items thing, but interesting description of how that go. Interesting. Okay, anyway, I focus. I try. Now I need bed. Okay. Oh, yes, it is goodish news. Go bed then, Millennial. Go sleep. Have a good rest. Take care. Good night. Okay. Alright, Raven's flying straight into the whale's mouth. Here we go. Down whale's throat. The whale closed his mouth, gave a great gulp, and down he went to the bottom of the sea. Marvelous. Of course you did. Hi, one Mr. Ooh or Maru. I don't know what you want me to say. I like it though. I'm good, but I am in story, so I will try and focus on the story. Here we go. We're in the It's moo with a R. Mroo. Mroo. It's hard to not do and then roo, but mroo. Oh boy. Okay. Raven stood up. Oh, good, I got it. Okay. Oh, what is that? Feet. Beans crunch. Okay, good night, Millennial. Alright. Raven is in the throat of the whale. He stands up. The whale has gone. They be beans. I do see that, but there's crunching beans. Anyway, okay. Go to bed. Okay. Raven stood up, pushed up his beak, and looking about, found himself at the entrance to a fine room. I'm sorry, there's what in the belly of a whale? A fine room, at one end of which burned a lamp. A lamp? Considering most often, with these peoples, at this time, they burnt whale blubber? This feels really messed up that there's a lamp inside the whale. I'm just saying. Wait, did this bird also wound this asshat in the whale looking for its wooden son? I don't think there's a wooden son involved this time, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Biscuit beans. Yes, it is. I'm not used to seeing the biscuiting in the air. The carpenter needs to live somewhere. Probably not in the whale. As a One Piece fan, a room in a whale isn't new to me. I'm stuck on more the hypocrisy or the concern of a lamp in a whale, when at this time from these people, lamps are whale lamps or seal lamps, but they're how is it burning? Anyway, okay. He went in, I guess, this room, and was surprised to see a beautiful young woman sitting there. Forget the wooden boy, it's a beautiful young woman. So much better. The place was clean and dry, the roof being supported by the whale's spine, while its ribs formed the walls. More water. Fine, okay. Hydrate. I will do the one, and then I will try and remember the other. Okay. The lamp was supplied from a tube that extended along the whale's backbone, from which oil constantly but slowly dripped into the lamp. I knew it! I told y'all to be concerned. They're burning. No, let me focus on story. You're doing this on purpose. I know you are, Ion Bear. The lamp. It's literally burning the whale as it goes. It's killing. I guess it's going. The oil is kind of like the blubber, the fat. I get, but that's so messed up. It is so messed up. First, step 1: hollow out the inside of a whale to make a room while it's still alive. Second, burn the remaining pieces as we go so that we can have light in it. Is concerned. Okay. I focus. I not pay attention. I'll do those things later. Here we go. When Raven stepped in, the woman started up in alarm and cried out, "How came you here? You are the first man who ever came into my house. It's a whale, lady." Okay, go ahead and lurk along. It's almost like an arts and crafts. No. No. I'm a nice lurk LeBon. Yes. LeBon, no. Why were you saying no to LeBon? What were you expecting from LeBon? Okay, I focus. Lurk. Okay. I came in through the whale's throat, said Raven as politely as he knew how, for the woman was young and fair to look upon. Oh no, she pretty. Moreover, he had already guessed that she was the Inua, or spirit of the whale. Oh, okay. I kind of like this version of things. POV Frog, go ribbit. Did I ribbit? Stop. Okay. He came in through the whale's throat. There you go. The word says that. They came in through the whale's throat. But okay, Inua, the spirit of the whale. Isn't that cool? Now it makes sense. It's still weird, but now it's like the spirit is puppeting the whale coat. And now it all makes sense that it is hollow and burning the oil as it goes, and so on and so on. But yeah, this is cool. Okay. Raven spirit man thing. And then now is the whale spirit. I already said it, Ion Bear. Stop being distracted. Okay, so he says, I came in through the whale's throat. Da 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 da. I should like to stay a while. As you cannot get out at present, it seems that you will have to stay. I guess because they're under the water. I'll run it by your mom. Oh my gosh, you two. You little shits. Seems you'll have to stay whether you like it or whether I like it. Ooh, you appear to be my guest, so I must prepare food for you. She gave it a little bit of sass. Whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, I have to get food for you because you're my guest. She brought food which she served with berries and oil. These are berries which I gathered last summer. Oh, nice. It's okay, Raven. We all make mistakes. I haven't said that. How? What did I mistake? What did I mistake? I didn't know. Okay, I focus. These are berries which I gathered. Stop on him. You little shit. Okay, berries I gathered last summer, she said. Clearly you is. You do good. Okay. For 4 days he remained there as the guest of the whale spirit and found it a very pleasant experience. I guess because he keeps getting served by the whale, but I don't know. But he continually wondered what the tube was that ran along the roof of the house. I guess that fed the lamp. I am not... Stop. Whenever the spirit woman left the room, she said, "You must on no account touch that tube." And that only served to make him the more curious. Well, of course. On the 5th day, when she left the room, he went to the lamp and caught a drop of the oil, which he licked up with his tongue. It tasted so sweet that he began to catch other drops as fast as they fell. This soon became too slow to suit him, for he was hungry. So he reached up and tore a piece from the side of the tube and ate it. No, you little dum-dum. Raven, what have you done? Okay, fine, I'll chill out, doll. It's cute, it's silly, but I am determined, okay? I'm getting good at this. I will do the focus. I will manage. What does Cage do? Heart hand. I see. Okay. Oh. Oh, I see now. Oh, it's so... Aww. I did not notice. That's cute. I was wondering where your other half was, and then there it is. Okay, I like. That's cute. That's very cute. Okay, focus. Okay. He's going to go. He's going to go and ruin everything because he's hungry, even though she's been feeding him this whole time. As soon as This was done, a great rush of oil poured into the room and put out the light, while the room itself began to roll wildly about. Oh no! This continued for 4 days, and Raven was nearly dead from exhaustion and the bruises which he received. I guess 'cause now he's in the stomach. Then the room became still, and the whale was dead, for Raven had torn off part of one of the heart vessels. Oh my gosh! The Inua never came back to the room, and the whale drifted upon the shore. Where did she... Oh yes, I know the Violet's heart. I know Violet's heart. It's so cute. Scenic hype and love. I like a hug. Oh, a hug. Okay, I go. Raven has ruined everything. Dumbass. Raven now found himself a prisoner and was saying to himself, "Now I am in a pretty boat." What? I have enjoyed the trip, but how is one to get out of a kayak like this? Presently he said, "Hark! What is that I hear?" Oh, I'm a dum-dum. I never hit the add button. I didn't do the add. Darn. Maybe lying whale oil tastes absolutely... Well, he liked it. You didn't, but he liked it. He is also a raven, to be fair. Rain Panda was not a manta ray streamer. Well, I'm a deer woman and I have frog emotes. Oh, Brian, no! That is not true. The bot is a liar. There is more loves, I promise. Okay, I need to keep reading because there's going to be an ad and I was a dum-dum and didn't hit the sticking thing. Okay, he says he's in a boat. Oh no. Perfect, Cage. That sounds great. Guess today is just bad numbers today. Yeah, it really is. Okay, here we go. How is he supposed to get out of that? Presently he said, "Hark, what is that I hear? As I live, it is someone walking on the roof of the house." Or his boat, or, the whale. And he was right, for 2 men were walking on top of the dead whale and calling to their village mates to come and help cut it up. Very soon there were many people at work cutting a hole through the upper side of the whale's body. Raven quickly pulled down his mask, becoming a bird, and crouched close to the farthest corner. When the hole was large enough, he watched his chance, and while everybody was carrying a load of meat to the shore, he flew out and alighted on the top of a hill close by without being noticed. Can you imagine? You're like on a beach, you're just a person living in a place by the water, and then suddenly there's a dead whale, and you're like, "Oh, hey, well, you know what? We can get some food out of this. We can get that." He's in the whale, which he is considering a boat. Now, shh, Dumda, I know you're a mod, but Oh, 9 references. What? This is not... huh? Okay, focus, please. The... really? The idea of being like living by the side of the water and then the whale shows up and you're like, okay, well, it's a dead whale. What are we gonna do? We can maybe use some of the meat if we act quick and don't let it rot. But then as you cut it open, a raven flies out of its stomach. Can you imagine? I mean, I think that's a pretty cool magic trick. I don't know. I'm in jail, I promise. You little goof. Okay, so then he goes on a hill without being noticed. Here we are. "Ah, my good fire drill, I have forgotten it," he exclaimed, remembering that he had left it behind. Oh no! So now they're gonna find a lamp in there. Maybe other things about a fine room, maybe a chair. His fire drill. Oh no. Okay, he quickly pushed up his beak and removed his raven coat, becoming a young man again. He started along the shore toward the whale. The people working on the dead animal saw a small, dark-colored man in a strangely made deerskin coat, coming toward them, and they looked at him curiously. "Oh, you have found Fine, large whale, said he as he drew near. I will help you cut him up. They're like, okay. He rolled up his sleeves and set to work. Very soon a man cutting on the inside of the whale's body called out, Ah, see what I have found. A fire drill inside a whale. See? Oop. At once the wily raven rolled down his sleeves and quit work, saying, That is a bad sign, for my daughter has told me that if a fire drill is found in a whale and people try to cut up that whale, many of them will die. I shall run away before the Inua of the whale catches me. And away he ran. When he was gone, the people looked at one another and said, Perhaps he is right. We'd better go, too. And then they all ran, each one trying to rub the oil from his hands as he went. From his hiding place, Raven looked on and laughed as he saw the people running away. Then he went back for his raven coat, and when he had put it on and pulled down his beak, he flew to the carcass and began to cut it up and fly with chunks of the flesh to a cave on the shore. He did not care to go to it as a man, lest the villagers would see him and, discovering the trick he had played them, should come back for the meat. As he chuckled over the feast in store for him, he said, Thanks, ghost of the whale, both for the boat ride and for the feast. The end. Raven is also known to be a trickster in the other places, so I'm glad that he's a trickster up this far north too. Isn't that fun? That read very Iktomi. They are both the trickster guys, but what I'm wondering is, did you still get your fire drill? And did the ghost of the whale ever show up? Did she return ever? No? Okay. Well, okay, there's the end. You can undo emote only, and I'm going to run an ad. And then we can go ahead and do our redeems. Or actually, let's see how long the next story is. What is the very next one? The red skeleton. Oh, the red skeleton is very short. We'll do a 30-second ad and a red skeleton. That's what we'll do. Here we go. Ad. And now I'm just typing out the red skeleton for the next story. It's a very short one. I'll write it here. Oh, Dumda, you don't have to apologize. It was a confuse, and as a mod, you're allowed. Okay, here we go. The red skeleton. This is the fun bit of you being an a mod. You just was like, I don't have to worry about that. Take that, everyone that's in jail right now. Okay, here we go. The red skeleton. Here we are. In a village on Cape Prince of Wales. Where is Cape Prince of Wales? Cape Prince of Wales. Apparently it is nowadays Alaska. Let me see. Oh my gosh, I'll get to the... You doubled them. How am I supposed to do all that? I was Googling Cape Prince of Wales. It is Alaska. Westernmost mainland. Woo woo woo. Woo woo woo. Scoot back, scoot back. Show me the rest of the world. Oh, it is. Look at that. It's very close to Russia. There you go. Okay. I posture. I hydrate. And I stretch. Okay. We did do that one. Okay. Wait, extra stretch. Okay, alright. We will do the other ones later. Alright, here we go. In a village on Cape Prince of Wales very long ago, there was a poor orphan boy. Oh, I see my headphones are not feeding into my ears very well. Ooh. Oh no. Ugh. I hope your intestines feel better soon. I'm glad they're sparkly. Take care, Ion Bear. Take care. Do yourself a hydrate. Posture check by laying down on the floor. Maybe don't stretch. Ate too much glitter, my bad. Yeah, I don't recommend it. No. Okay, I focus. Right, okay. Village Cape Prince of Wales very long ago. There was a poor orphan boy who had no one to take his part. Who had no one to take his part and who was treated badly by everyone. Why does every one of these start with, there was a poor little boy that no one was very nice to, and in fact they were kind of very bad to this little boy who was an orphan and alone. So many of this is orphan boys. Ugh. Okay. Is there a lurket? There is, and in fact, there is the lurk emote, lurker frog now. Honest to God, I sleep on the floor now and then in the morning after it feels amazeballs. Those do. I have a friend who do that lots. He swear by it. Okay. Alright. His pet dropped the lurker frog. Okay. I focus. He was treated badly by everyone, being made to run here and there at the bidding of all the villagers. One snowy night he was told to go out of the kashim to see if the weather was getting worse. He had no skin boots, and it was so cold that he did not wish to go, but he was driven out. When he came back, he said, "It has stopped snowing, but it is as cold as ever." Just to plague him, the men kept sending him out every little while, until at last he came in saying, "I saw a ball of fire like the moon coming over the hill to the north." The men laughed at him and asked, "Why do you tell us a yarn like that? Go out again and see if there is not a whale coming over the hill. You are always seeing things." Would a whale be doing this? What? Okay. He went out and came in again quickly, saying in agitation, "The red thing has come nearer and is close to the house." The men laughed, but the boy hid himself. Almost immediately after this, the men in the kashim saw a fiery figure dancing on the gut skin covering of the roof hole, and in an instant after a human skeleton came crawling into the room through the passageway, creeping on its knees and elbows. Oh, this is getting weird. Okay, when the skeleton was in the room, it made a motion toward the people, which caused them all to fall on their knees and elbows in the same position as it had. Then turning about, it crawled out as it had come, followed by the people, who were forced to go with it. Outside, the skeleton crept through the snow toward the edge of the village, followed by all the men, and in a short time every one of them was dead, and the skeleton had vanished. Oh my. Some of the villagers had been absent when the spook came, and when they returned they found dead people lying all about on the cold ground. Entering the kashim, they found the orphan boy, who told them how the people had been killed. They followed the tracks of the skeleton through the snow and were led up the side of the mountain till they came to an ancient grave where the tracks ended. It was the grave of the boy's father. The end. Ooh, I like that story. That was nice. Oh, I like it. I like it. Can you imagine you're being mistreated after you're orphaned and you're sad and they keep sending you out into the middle of the night? And one of the times, it's your dad's skeleton on fire making its way over to where the bad people are to make sure that they magically get forced out and to die in the cold, like just the karma. Oh, I like it. Oh. Okay. Here we go. The game was as good as it was awful. I do not know it. Good for you guys. Okay, well that was the red skeleton. We have 4 stories left. I am certain we can finish this before the stream is needing to be done. So good for us. Okay. Let's do some redeems. I'll do another hydrate. And the posture check and stretch are kind of useless, but that was your own choice, Ion Bear. I will do those though. I will arrange again to hydrate. Thank you. And now we'll get into a new seat. Okay. Oh, wait. Let's stretch. Let's stretch again. Ah. Oh, yes. We are doing triggers now. Drop your redeems. Okay. Do we have no redeems? If we have none, I guess I could keep reading. We only have 4 left. We have the Marmot and the Raven. Very short. We have Origin of the Winds. Not long, but not as short. Ooh, Singing Frog. Okay, good. Raven and the Geese. Ooh. Yep, about the same size as that one. Dice, good. And even a plant can become someone if it tries. Which is, I think, the longest one in this section. So that's cool. Alright, Singing Frog and Dice. Here we go, Singing Frog. Do-do-do-do. I will have a singing frog now. Here we go. There was our frog. Now we'll move the mic for the dice. Here we go. Moving. Here we go. rolled a 1. Another 1. There we go. Alright. Put it away. Okay. Hi, Darkstorm. Nice roll, Fat. I had some bad rolls. Now we'll move to the bubble wraps. Here we go. Okay. I'm supposed to. I did a singing frog. I did a dice. Here's the bubble wraps. And then we'll get back into the stories. Okay, here we go. Lots of misleading bubbles. Very quiet ones. Okay, big bubbles. More reliable, at least. Let's go with these guys. There we go. Alright, there was our bubble wraps. So now we'll go on to the next story. Ooh, lots of rolls. 18, 14, 18, 6. Oh, you're going to get a new RAM for PC. Oh, that's nice. That's good. And you've got some awful res, Darkstorm. I'm sorry. Okay. Now we're going to go to our next story. The Marmot and the Raven. Not Raven, but the Raven. So let's see how this one goes. I'm sorry. Okay. No. There we go. The Marmot and the Raven. Ooh, 99% for mask. Nice. Riz God. 81 for fet. Nice. But alright, here, the Marmot and the Raven. This one should be a quick one before we get to the next longer one. I'm gonna just run through these, cause I want to read them. Yeah, and maybe if there's a big push for redeems, we'll go in between. But I think I'm gonna go straight through probably. The Marmot and the Raven. Once, when a raven was flying over some reefs near the shore of the sea, he was seen by some seabirds that were perched on the rocks. They began to revile him, calling him disagreeable names. "Oh, you offal eater! Oh, you carrion eater! Oh, you black one!" Okay, well that's... that one just feels... No. Don't... What? It's a bad job at being a insult between animals, weirdos. Anyway, wow. Until the raven turned and flew away crying, "Knack, knack, knack. Why do they call me such names?" Oh, that sucks, Ion Bear. You're gonna make me itchy. Oh my gosh. I hate that. That's a terrible place to get a mosquito bite. Stop accusing each other of stealing Riz. It was all the bot. They're almost as bad as Lahonk Chaos. Okay. The raven turned away crying, "Why do you call me such names?" Right? Well, it turned away crying, "Knack, knack, knack, gnack, gnack," whatever. He flew far away across the great water until he came to a mountain on the other side, where he stopped. Just in front of him he saw a marmot hole. He said to himself, "If it is a disgrace to eat dead animals, I will eat only live ones. I will become a murderer." Dun dun dun. He's been told that he's bad for eating already dead stuff, so now he's gonna be a murderer. Ugh. Lahonk is chaos and Lahonk would enjoy. Somebody get a raven with a knife emote quick. Okay, he stood in front of the hole watching, and very soon the marmot came home, bringing some food. Oh no! Yawn attack. Okay. Marmot said to Raven, "Please stand aside. You were right in front of my door." "It is not my intention to stand aside," said Raven. "They called me a carrion eater, and I will show that I am not, for I will eat you." "If you are going to eat me, you ought to be willing to do me a favor," replied Marmot. "I have heard that you are a very fine dancer, and I long to see you dance before I die. If you dance as beautifully as they say, I shall be willing to die when once I have seen it. If you will dance, I will sing, and then you may eat me." "Okay, go ahead and eep." "Yes, go. Sleep. Don't stick around if you need eeps. Good night. Sleep well." Okay, the marmot is going to sing if Raven will dance, and also then death, I guess. Alright. Raven closed his eyes, and he hopped clumsily about while Marmot sang, so I guess he's not a very good dancer. "Oh, Raven, 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 what a graceful dancer! Oh, Raven, 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 what a fool you are!" And with a quick run, Marmot darted between Raven's legs and was safe in his hole. There he turned, putting out the tip of his nose and laughing mockingly as he said, "Chick-kick-kick, chick-kick-kick, chick-kick-kick. You are the greatest fool I ever met. What a ridiculous figure you made while dancing. I could scarcely sing for laughing. Look at me and see how fat I am. Don't you wish you could eat me?" And he tormented Raven till the latter flew away in a rage. The end. Yes, very Iktomi, I'm hungry and I keep not getting fed vibes. Now, origin of the winds. Origin of the winds. Okay. The next story, here we go. No, wait, there was no... Okay, origin of the winds. In a village on the lower Yukon lived a man and his wife who had no children. One day the woman said to her husband, "Far out on the tundra there grows a solitary tree. Go to that and bring back a piece of the trunk and make a doll from it. Then it will seem that we have a child." Okay. Great opening. Oh no. Excuse me. Instead of the little wooden child with the whale, it's in this one. Alrighty. The man went out of the house and saw a long track of bright light, like that made by the moon shining on snow, leading off across the tundra in the direction he had been told to take. It was the Milky Way. Along his path he traveled far away until he saw before him a beautiful object shining in the bright light. Going up to it, he found it was the tree of which he came in search. The tree was small, so he took his hunting knife, cut off a part of the trunk, and carried the fragment home. I'm wondering if, like, when they told this story before the author lady was involved in translation and sanitization, did they, because we've heard the Milky Way a few times, did they just say the stars? Did they call it the collection of stars had a specific name? What did they call it? Anyway, I'm curious. Anyway, okay, never mind. Oh, where was he? Traveled till he saw the light. Then he found the tree. The tree was small, so he took his hunting knife, cut off a part of the trunk, and carried the fragment home. He sat down in the house and carved out from the wood an image of a small boy, and his wife made 2 suits of clothing for it and dressed it in one of them, saving the other to put on when he had soiled the first, she said. I think just life will soil it. He will not, because he will not be alive. But okay, sure. Now, father, make your little boy a set of toy dishes, she said. I see no use in all this trouble. We will be no better off than we were in the first place, said the man. Why, yes, we are already better off, said the wife. Before we had the doll, we had nothing to talk about except ourselves. Now we have the doll to talk about and to amuse us. Interesting plan here, okay. To please her, the husband made the toy dishes, and he placed the doll in the seat of honor on the bench opposite the door, with the dishes full of food and water before it. When the couple had gone to bed that night, the room was very dark, and they heard several low, whistling sounds. Do you hear that? It is the doll, said the woman, shaking her husband till he awakened. They got up at once, and making a light, saw that the doll had eaten the food and drunk the water, and that its eyes were moving. Ah! The woman caught it up with delight and fondled and played with it for a long time. All right, words choices wouldn't have made today, okay. When she became tired, she put it back on the bench, and they went to bed again. In the morning, when they got up, the doll was gone. They looked for it all around the house, but could not find it. Then they went outside, and there were its tracks leading away from the door. They followed the tracks to the creek and along the bank to a place outside the village where they ended. For from this place the doll had gone up the Milky Way on the path of light upon which the man had gone to find the tree. Doll traveled along the bright path till he came to the edge of day, where the sky comes down to the earth and walls in the light. Close beside him, in the east, he saw a skin cover fastened over a hole in the sky wall. The skin was bulging inward as if some strong force on the other side were pushing it. "It is very quiet here. I think a little wind would make it livelier," said the doll, drawing his knife and cutting the cover loose on one side of the hole. At once a strong wind blew through, every now and then bringing with it a live reindeer. Flying reindeer. Okay. Looking through the hole, Doll saw beyond the wall another world like the earth. He drew the cover over the hole again. "Do not blow too hard," he said to the wind. "Sometimes blow hard, sometimes light, and sometimes do not blow at all." Then he got upon the sky wall and walked along till he came to the southeast. Here another opening was covered like the first, and the covering was bulging inward. When he cut his covering loose, a gale swept in, bringing reindeer, trees, and bushes. He quickly covered the hole and said to the gale, "You are too strong. Sometimes blow hard, sometimes light, and sometimes do not blow at all. The people on earth will want variety." Yeah, I don't think I'd be hugging it. I'd be concerned. For a second, I thought maybe there would be an animal hiding inside the log. Maybe that's it, because then it disappeared and the food is eaten. But anyway, okay. Then he got up upon the sky wall and walked until he got to... Oh, no, wait, I already did that. Again, walking along the sky wall, he came to a hole in the south. And when this covering was cut, a hot wind came rushing in, carrying grain and spray from the great sea lying beyond the sky hole on that side. Doll closed this opening and talked to the wind as before. Then he passed on to the west, where there was another hole which admitted heavy rainstorms with sleet and spray from the ocean. When he had closed this and given the wind its instructions, he went on to the northwest. There, when he cut away the covering, a cold blast came rushing in, bringing snow and ice, so that he was chilled to the bone and half frozen, and he made haste to close the hole as he had the others. He started to go along the sky wall to the north, but the cold became more and more severe, until at last he was obliged to leave the wall and make a circuit to the southward, going back to the north only when he came opposite the opening. There the cold was so intense that he waited some time before he could muster courage to cut the cover away. When he did so, a fearful blast rushed in, carrying great masses of snow and ice, strewing it over the entire plain of the earth. It was so bitter that he closed the hole very quickly, and told the wind from that direction to come only in the middle of the winter, so that the people might not be taken unawares, and might be prepared for it. From there he hastened down to warmer climes in the middle of the earth plain, where, looking up, he saw that the sky was supported by long, slender, arching poles, like those of a conical lodge, but made of some beautiful material unknown to him. Journeying on, he finally came to the village from which he started and went into his own home. Doll lived in this village for a very long time, for when the foster parents who had made him died, he was taken by another people of the village and lived on for many generations until he finally died. Since his death, parents have made dolls for their children in imitation of the doll who first opened the wind holes of the sky and regulated all the 6 winds of earth. The end. I like, one, that there's 6 winds. There's more than just 4 winds. That's a good move. I like that they were different temperatures. Nice. They brought different things. Cool. And I like that now this is the story of whenever a kid has a little doll, they can be like, wow, my doll is the doll that went and is in charge of wind. That's cool, dude. I have that's the beginning of action figures, you know? My doll that they made me is the one that did this stuff. That is cool. It's not just like a mini person and a baby, like they did for themselves. Okay. Origin of the Winds, done. Do we want to do redeems right now? Or do we want to go to Raven and the Geese? That was some strong wind there. Hell yeah, it a beast. Raven and the Geese. Raven and the geese. That sounds so fun. And there's a weird like break halfway through it, so I'm maybe kind of a two-part story, maybe two different story. I don't know, but it's not that long. I think I will go ahead and read. Let's go. Raven. Well, not Raven, but Raven and the geese. Let's get rid of them. It's so annoying. Okay. Raven and the geese. Okay. After this one more story. I think I can do it. I'll just read straight through. For a long time, Raven lived alone, but finally became tired of it and decided to take a wife. It was late in the fall, and he noticed that the birds were going south in large flocks. He flew away and stopped directly in the path taken by geese and other wild fowl on their way to the land of summer. As he sat there, he saw a pretty young goose coming near. He hid his face by looking at his feet, so that she would not know but that he was a black goose, and called out, "Who wishes me for a husband? I am a very nice person." He's hiding his face, he's hiding his nose, his beak, so that she thinks he's just a black goose. Oh my gosh. The goose flew on without heeding him, and he looked after her and sighed. Soon after, a black brant passed, and Raven cried out as before, but the brant flew on. Again he waited, and this time a duck passed near. And when Raven cried out, she turned her head a little. "Oh, I shall succeed this time," thought Raven, and his heart beat fast with hope. But the duck passed on, and Raven stood waiting with bowed head. Oh no. Very soon a family of white front geese came along, consisting of the parents with 4 sons and a sister. Raven cried out, "Who wishes me for a husband? I am a fine hunter and am young and handsome." "Hey, look at me, I'm handsome." Yeah, I don't know how well this works, but I guess with birds, that's kind of how it goes. You sing and you scream and you're like, "Please, somebody sleep with me." As a bird, that's what you do. And then maybe someone will look at you and then you're like, "Okay, look at my feathers. I'm gonna do a dance." Usually they do something and then maybe they do. But, right? Isn't that how birds do? I don't know. I think. That's why they sing. They're all just horny. Birds all be like, "Hello? Hello?" Okay. As he finished speaking, they alighted just beyond him, and he thought, "Surely now I shall get a wife." He looked about and found a pretty white stone with a hole in it lying near. He picked it up, and stringing it on a long grass stem, hung it about his neck. As soon as he had done this, he pushed up his bill so that it slid to the top of his head like a mask, and he became a dark-colored young man. At the same time, each of these geese pushed up its bill in the same manner, and they became nice-looking people. Raven walked toward them and was much pleased with the looks of the girl, and going to her, gave her the stone which she hung about her neck. By doing this, she showed that she accepted him for a husband. Ba-do-ba-do! Yay! That's a people thing, is a rock as jewelry, and specifically up there it's classic for the necklaces for engagements. But yeah, yay! Then they all pulled down their bills, becoming birds again, and flew away toward the south. The geese flapped their wings heavily and worked along slowly, while Raven, on his outspread wings, glided along faster than his party, and the geese gazed at him in admiration, exclaiming, "How light and graceful he is!" And the little bride was very proud of her fine husband. But Raven was not accustomed to the long all-day flights of the geese, and he became tired. "We would better stop early and look for a good place to spend the night," he said. The others agreed to this, so they stopped and were soon asleep. Early the next morning the geese were astir, but Raven slept so heavily that the father goose had to shake him and say, "Wake up, wake up! We must make haste, for it will snow here soon, sorry. We must not linger. As soon as Raven was fully awake, he pretended to be eager to get away, and, as on the day before, he led all the others with his widespread wings, and was greatly admired by the others, especially by his young wife. He kept on, above or in front of his companions, and his bride would often say, "See how gracefully he skims along without having to flop heavy wings as we do?" And she gave her brothers a side glance which made them feel that she was contrasting their clumsiness with his ease. After that tactless remark, the 4 brothers-in-law began to feel envious of Raven. Meanwhile, Raven's actually working his ass off. They don't realize he's not used to this. Okay. There's a break, and we start again with, they stopped one evening on the seashore, where they feasted upon the berries which were plentiful there, and then they settled down for the night and fell asleep. In the morning the geese were making ready to start without waiting for breakfast, and Raven's stomach cried out for more of the berries, but the father goose said they could not wait, and he dared not object to starting. The brothers-in-law had secretly urged the father not to wait, for they said, "Our sister needs to have some of the conceit about that husband of hers taken out of her, and so does he." Ooh, family drama. Raven dreaded the long flight across the sea, for he heard Father Goose say, "We will make only one stop in crossing this water. There is an island in the center of it, and there we will rest for a short time and then go on to the farther shore." Raven was ashamed to say that he feared he could never reach that farther shore, so he determined to keep still and risk it, and off they all flew. Oh no! The geese kept steadily on and on. After a long time, Raven began to fall behind. His widespread wings ached, yet these geese kept steadily and untiringly on. His vanity was no longer gratified by admiring remarks from his companions, for he was flapping heavily along. Sometimes he would glide on outspread pinions for a time, hoping to ease his tired wings, but he fell farther and farther behind. Finally, the geese looked back, and the brothers said sarcastically, "We thought he was light and active." The father goose said, "He must be getting tired. We must not press him too hard. We will rest." The geese sank upon the water close together, and Raven came laboring up and dropped upon their backs, gasping for breath. In a short time he partially recovered, and getting one hand on his breast, said, "I have an arrowhead here from an old war I was in, and it pains me greatly. That is the reason I fell behind." "Are you a liar, Raven?" He had his wife put her hand on his breast to feel the arrowhead, which he declared was working its way into his heart. She could feel nothing, but his heart was beating like a trip hammer with no sign of an arrow point. But she said nothing, for her brothers were whispering, "I knew he was a liar, and he's asking his wife to cover up for him." Lovely, without asking. Oh, just declaring, you will agree with me, won't you? You will comply. You'll beg me up. "We don't believe that story about the arrow point," the brothers are saying. "How could he live with an arrow in his heart?" What the heck is a trip hammer? I think the more pressing thing is that it's a full phrase, like a trip hammer with no sign of an arrow point. My brain skipped over it because I was just filling, and it was like, it's beating so hard, like a hammer, okay, and with no sign of an arrow point, an end? I don't know, but it's like I euphemismed her, whatever, her metaphor, where you just say the random words. It's a spring hammer. If you say so. We have one of those. Cool. I was just like, okay, I get it. It's a reference to something they use a lot that I don't. Cool. I'm gonna move on. Okay, good point to call that out. I just skipped over it. Anyway, okay. They rested 2 or 3 times more, he sinking upon their backs as before, but when they saw the far-off shore before them, Father Goose said, "We can wait for you no more," for they were eager to reach the land and find food. They all arose and flew on, Raven slowly flapping along behind, for his wings felt heavy. The geese kept steadily on toward the shore, while he sank lower and lower, getting nearer to the dreaded water. When the waves were almost touching him, he shrieked to his wife, "Leave me the white stone, it has magical powers. Throw me the white stone." Why do I feel like it's gonna hit him in the head and he's gonna drown? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, totally fair, Dumda. I needed to be reminded that you just skipped over that, Raven. Come on. Anyway, okay. He's calling for the stone, her engagement necklace. Thus he kept crying until suddenly his wings lost their power and he floated helplessly on the water as the geese gained the shore. He tried to rise from the water, but his wings seemed to be weighted down, and he drifted back and forth along the beach. The waves arose, and one white-capped after another broke over him till he was soaked. And it was only with the greatest difficulty that he could get his beak above the surface to breathe a little between the billows. Oh no! After a long time, a great wave cast him upon the land, and as it flowed back, he dug his claws into the sand to save himself from being dragged back into the sea. As soon as he was able, he struggled up the beach, an unhappy-looking object, I imagine. The water ran in streams from his soaked feathers, and his wings dragged on the ground. So he fell several times, and at last, with a wide gaping mouth, he reached some bushes. As soon as he could get his breath, he took off his raven coat and pushed up his beak, becoming a small, dark-colored man. "From this time on, forevermore, I'm done with being a goose," he declared. "You were never a goose. You were just being with a goose." You were never trying to be a goose, Raven. You were just trying to keep up with them, but fair. Okay, thank you for the hydrate and everything, B2 Dasher. Thank you. Oh, that was the end of that one. Hydrate. Posture is good. Stretch quick. We have one more story in 8 minutes, but I will read it. It won't take too long, but it is a longer one. So, stretch. I think I will refund your dice and just read. I think I should. I don't know, but I think. Gotta keep the streamer healthy, otherwise we don't have stories to listen. You're right. More pressing right now, I guess, is money's for the streamer. But not for use. Okay. I think yes. Okay, so the next one is even a grass plant can become someone if it tries. I think we're going to skip straight to that story. So here we go. Very long titles. Every once in a while, some very long titles. Even a grass plant can become someone if it tries. Okay. And here we go. I'm probably going to be refunding the dice, but if we have time at the end, then I will do the dice. Okay. Near the mouth of the Yukon grows, I'm guessing the river, because it says mouth anyway, grows a tall, slender kind of grass, which the women gather and dry in the fall and use for braiding mats and baskets and for pads in the soles of skin boots. One of these grass stalks that had been almost pulled out by the roots when the women were gathering others did not like the fate in store for it. Ooh. Oh, thank you, Dumda. But I try. Okay. So okay, this grass is like, I don't want to be a basket or part of his boots. No. It says, why should I stay on in this shape and never become anything but a pad in the sole of a boot to be trodden on forever? It must be nicer to be the one who treads on the pad, but since I cannot be that, I will at least be something better than grass. Looking about, it spied a bunch of herbs growing close by, looking so quiet and unmolested that the grass stem said, I will be an herb. That is a higher and safer life than this. At once it was changed into an herb, like those it had envied, and for a time it remained in peace. But one day the women came back with baskets and picks and began to dig up these herbs and eat some of the roots, putting others into the baskets to take home. The changed plant was left standing when the women went home toward the evening, but it had seen the fate of its companions. This is not very safe either, for now I should be eaten. I wish I had chosen some other form, it said. Looking down, it saw a tiny creeping vine clinging close to the ground. That is the thing to be, it said. That is so obscure and lowly that the women will never notice it. I will be a vine like that. Ooh. Oh no. I'm gonna quickly Google something here. Okay. So we have a berry here. I want to call it a different name because this is yeah. We're gonna call it a deer berry. Okay. Slurberry is really what it says here, but insert other slur. But yeah, okay. Anyway, all right. It will be a vine like that. Without delay, it became a little deerberry or partridge berry. Different berry names were offered when I Google. Anyway, that vine, nestling under the dead leaves, it had not lived in peace and seclusion very long before the women came and tore up many of the vines, stopping just before they reached the changeling and saying, we will come back tomorrow and get the rest. The one-time grass plant was filled with fear, and changed itself quickly into a small tuber-bearing plant, like some that were growing near. Scarcely had the change been made when a small tundra mouse came softly through the grass and began digging at a neighboring plant, holding up the tuber in its paws and nibbling it, after which the mouse crept on again. To be safe, I must be a mouse, thought the changeling. I was wondering when we'd get to animals here. Animals are a higher kind of being than plants anyway. I will be a mouse. Instantly it became a mouse and ran off, glad of the change. Now and then it would pause to dig up a tuber, or it would sit up on its hind feet to look around on the new scenes that came into view. This is much more delightful than being a plant, and always staying in one place and never seeing anything of the world, it said. While traveling nimbly along in this manner, the mouse observed a strange white animal coming through the air toward it, which kept dropping down upon the ground, and after stopping to eat something it would fly on again. You better get scared, little changeling. When it came near, the mouse saw that it was a great white owl. At the same moment the owl saw the mouse and swooped down upon it. Darting off, the mouse was fortunate enough to escape by running into a hole made by one of its kind, and the owl flew off. After a while the mouse ventured to come out of its shelter, though its heart still beat painfully from its recent fright. I will be an owl, and in that way be safe. You were like 5 different plants before you got to mouse. No insects. And you jumped straight from mouse to predator bird? But okay, fine. Okay, thought that's thought the mouse, and with the wish it was changed into a beautiful white owl. "Oh, this is fine," he said. "It is glorious to fly through the air and go up almost to the sky, where I can look down on all the world. I'm glad I was not content to stay always down in the dirt." With slow, noiseless wing flaps, the owl set off toward the north, pausing every now and then to catch and eat a mouse. After a long flight, Sledge Island came into view, and the owl thought it would go there. When far out at sea, its untried wings, became so tired that only with the greatest difficulty did it manage to reach the shore, where it perched upon a piece of driftwood that stood up in the sand. In a short time it saw two fine-looking men pass along the shore, and the old feeling of discontent arose again. Those men were talking in a better-sounding language than mine. They seemed to understand each other, and they laughed and were having a good time. I will be a man. With a single flap of wing, it stood upon the ground, where it changed immediately into a fine young man. Again, big jump from the owl, but okay. But of course the feathers were gone, and the man had no clothing. Night came down upon the earth soon after, and the man sat down with his back against the stick of wood on which, as an owl, he had perched, and slept till morning. He was awakened by the sun shining in his eyes, and upon arising felt stiff and lame from the cold night air. He found some of the same grass which he had once been, and braided it into a kind of mantle which kept out a little of the cold. Seeing a reindeer grazing, he felt a sudden desire to kill it and eat its flesh. He crept up close on his hands and knees, and springing forward seized it by the horns and broke its neck with a single effort. He felt all over its body and found that its skin formed a covering through which he could not push his fingers. No, you will need a knife. For a long time he tried to think how to remove the skin, and finally noticed a stone with a sharp edge, with which he managed to cut through the hide. Then he quickly stripped the animal with his hands, and tore out a piece of flesh, which he tried to swallow as he had swallowed mice when he was an owl. He found that he could not do this easily, so he tore off small bits and ground them with his teeth. Learning to chew. Good, okay. He had already discovered that by striking two stones together they grew warm and felt good to his cold hands. So now he struck them together until sparks came, with which he lighted some dry weeds and brush, and had a fire to cook his meat and to warm himself. The next morning he killed another reindeer, and the day following 2 more, and wrapped himself in their skins from head to foot, with the raw side next his own flesh, as the animals had worn them. The skin soon dried on him and became like a part of his body. As the nights grew colder and colder, he collected a quantity of driftwood from the shore, with which he built him a rude hut. Was a mean, aggressive, snarky hut. Which he found very comfortable. Walking over the hills one day, he came near to a strange black animal eating berries from the bushes. He crept up to it and grasped it by its hind legs. With an angry growl, it turned to face him, showing its white teeth. Is this a bear? He knew then that he must not let go his hold of it, so he swung it high over his head and brought it down on the ground with such force that the bear lay dead. He killed a bear by lifting it up and hitting it on the ground. This grass got strong. Oh my gosh. Well, in skinning the bear, he saw that it contained much fat, and that he might have a light in his house if he could find something that would hold the grease and not yet take fire itself. Oh, look at that, strong. Let me see your strong. Buff. Okay. Going along the beach, he found a long, flat stone with a hollow in one surface, and in this the oil remained very well, and with a lighted moss wick he found it much pleasanter to get about his house at night. The bear skin he hung up for a curtain to his door, kept out the cold wind. In this way he lived for many days, but he was a human being now and needed human society. He remembered the two young men he had seen on the beach when, as an owl, he sat on the post on the shore. "Two men passed here once, and I liked them," said he. "They may live not far from here. I should like to see someone like myself. I will go seek them." He went in search of people, wandering along the coast for some distance. He came to two fine new kayaks lying at the foot of a hill, and in the kayaks were spears, lines, floats, and other hunting implements. After examining these curiously, he noticed a path leading up to a hill. He followed the path, and on the top of the hill he found a house with 2 storehouses near it, and several recently killed white whales and many skulls around it. Wishing to see the people in the house before showing himself, he went with noiseless steps into the entranceway and up to the door. Cautiously lifting one corner of the skin curtain that hung in the doorway, he looked in. Opposite the doorway was a young man sitting at work on some arrows, while a bow lay beside him. He dropped the curtain and stood for some time in doubt as to how to proceed. "If I enter the house, he may shoot me before I have time to make known my good will," thought he. But in the end he thought, "If I enter and say I have come, brother, he will not hurt me." So raising the curtain quickly, he entered. The householder at once seized the bow and drew an arrow to the head just as the intruder said, "I have come, brother." At this the bow and arrow were dropped, and the young man cried out with delight, "Are you my brother? Come and sit beside me." Whoa, that was close. The way that they wrote that, he drew an arrow to the head, I was like, But I guess that meant like he lifted it at his head height. But anyway, okay. This the newcomer very gladly did, and the householder showed his pleasure and asked, "Are you really my brother? I am very glad to see you, brother, for I always believed I had one somewhere, though I never could find him. Where have you lived? Have you known any parents? How did you grow up?" Where are your parents? Apparently we have the same parents, 'cause you're my brother. But okay, fine. Faceplant, boss fights hurt. Oh no, Huffman. I don't know what happened. Oh no. Okay, I keep going. We're going to be done soon, but here we go. No, I have never known any parents. I never was born and never grew up. I just found myself a man standing on the seashore. Well, after some other stuff, but okay. There I built me a house and made myself as comfortable as I could, but I was lonely, so I came to find you. I also never had any parents that I can recall. Wait, what? Really? Sir, who are you? Huh? How? My earliest recollection was of finding myself alone in this house, where I have lived ever since, killing game for food. I was alone until this friend came to stay with me. Now you, my brother, shall live here too, and we will never be parted again. Okay. Were you grass too, sir? And what about this guy? What was he? Were you a mouse? Right. And thus, by always striving to be something higher, the downtrodden grass plant became a man. I mean, I guess that's a good, moral to always strive to be something better. Even if you don't go all the way to man instantly, you get a little better each time. That's kind of cool. That's nice. But oh my gosh, what a world. Okay, that's the end of that book. I rid my hands of that. That author deserves to be adios. Okay. I honk stairs again. Hello, welcome back, you. But alright, we're going to wrap up for tonight. I will refund them dice. And I will ask, hey Fett, do you got some recommendation for a raid? 'Cause it's looking about that time. But thank you everybody for being here. Who else is glad that we got some fun stories in this? And who else is glad that we no longer have to be worried about the author lady maybe saying some bad stuff? Ooh, Birdie Boba. Ooh, that sound good. Okay. Let's get our raid messages and get moving. I will not be back on tomorrow, but I am dropping one of my origami how-to videos again tomorrow, so you'll have that. And I guess I will be back on Sunday if all goes as planned. So I will see you guys soon enough. But yes, thank you for the stream. Thank you. No stream. I know. I'm sorry, but this is how I made the other videos. It's so that I can do the other videos too, so that you have all the other fun stuffs. And maybe one day I have things more put together and I'm in better money situations that I can do more stream, but I am not there, friends. Tell your friends about me. Maybe then I will have more monies and then I can do this better. If we can get to a bunch more, but I have not. I do not has. Oh, a 31% riz. A 5 roll. You do not have the good numbers right now, Lahonk. Try a love. Quickly try a love. Friends. You're right, I should have known. I'm sure you have friends. Divat. Ooh, 52. That's better than what it could have been with the others. Lahonk. 27. Lahonk, you really have no good numbers. You have bad and then like number. I'm so sorry. There you go, 74 and 86. There you go, good numbers. I'm so sorry you got no good numbers, Lahonk. I'm so sorry. It's bad. 52. I always have high love until you don't. One day it will happen. This is not fair. It isn't, and it's not real. But you just did a love you won't be able to love. I'm sorry, Lahonk. Okay, I need to go raid. Let's go raid. Birdie Boba is waiting. I joke. Birdie Boba has no idea. Okay. Let's go to Birdie Boba. Alright. Oh, there's ad. We will give a moment. But thank you. 1% is still high. No. I already told my little bros about you, though. Oh, but thank you. That is nice. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll do it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I see you soon and you can check out the Discord and the YouTubes. And yeah, but okay, here we're gonna prep for raid. We're getting going and we're gonna do this. Come on. Okay. Alright. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Let's raid. We raiding. It's going. I'm waiting. Come on, raid. Come on, raid. Let's go raid. Raiding. Hey.